few years ago, immediately Tinubu became president of Nigeria, part of what he said was he was going to remove fuel subsidy, and which he did. So if I'm to give them on a scale to 1 to 10, I can't give them 10 over 10, but I'll just say they are trying.
One very depressing topic to talk about in Nigeria is politics and the Nigerian situation. Well, except you're benefiting from it, right? My name is Oga Peter. You're welcome to the Sinner Side podcast, where we talk about social issues, cultural issues, and everything in between. Today, we'll be talking politics. Now, it's one of my favorite topics because everybody can say something about it, but it's also a very depressing topic. So today we're going to talk about the young people's involvement in politics, because it's usually young people making noise, excited, insulting people up and down. Let's talk about what we can do. And also let's x-ray this current administration, what they are doing right or what they are doing wrong. I think that most people will agree that they are doing most things wrong than right. I don't have a dog in this fight, but I have two very important gentlemen. Oh, Father Lord. So, Dixon, you're welcome again.
Thank you very much.
David, you're welcome again.
Thank you.
Right. Now, pardon me for welcoming you in this manner. Like I said, politics is depressing, but we have to talk about it anyway, right? So let's get straight into it. You voted APC in the 2023 election.
Yes.
Right,
course.
you supported APC.
Yes.
Are you impressed with what you're saying? Don't
It's
be
not
afraid.
even-
You
no,
can
no, no,
speak
no.
into the mic.
It's not even up
Be
to
comfortable.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not even up to 2 years. So if I'm to give them on a scale to 1 to 10, I can't give them 10 over 10, but I'll just say they are trying. So
How many can you give them?
So if you want to judge, our advice we judge based on from our own level, in the sense that we cannot just judge from presidency. Let's look at our own state. What is going on? Okay, few years ago, immediately Tinubu became president of Nigeria. Part of what he said was he was going to remove fuel subsidy, and which he did. And several times he has made recent statement that this fuel subsidy he did, they've increased the internal generated revenue for each state. So you understand? So looking at all these things, you say your Nigeria is not moving forward and all those things.
Increasing the internal, the allocation.
Increasing the allocation
Increasing
for each
the
state.
allocation based on what value of Naira? Do you understand? Because naturally, if I had $1,000 5 years ago, I will have lesser Naira than I'm having now. So more Naira doesn't really, mean more value. Do you agree?
I agree with you 100%. But one thing you need to understand, in as much as we are using Naira to dollar to make this reference.
Because that's what they are using to sell it anyway.
Yeah, so but one thing you need to understand is that we don't spend dollars in Nigeria.
Yeah, but we sell.
We sell.
make
I
dollar.
know we don't spend dollars. So let's say, for example, a state that is receiving 8 billion naira from federal government monthly. This state is now receiving close to 20 billion naira. So I think that's an increase. So
but what 8 billion could do 5 years ago,
okay,
20 billion might not do it
now I
now.
want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Before Tinubu came on board, now if you want to judge if he's not performing or not, look at, let's say, for example, you are from Oyo State. Now check what the previous governor did during the time of Buhari, and check what he's doing now during the time of President Bola Tinubu. You can now use that one to judge. Look at, for example, now look at Wiki. Let me use FCT for as an example, as a case study here now. We are saying Nigeria is corrupt. There's nobody that travels to Abuja, either you are black or you are white. They keep on applauding Wiki.
See, listen.
You understand?
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on, Dixon. Hold on. Here's the thing, I'm very familiar with Abuja.
Okay.
When El Rufai was FCT minister in Abuja, I was frequenting, like I know what Abuja was before El-Rufai came, right? El-Rufai did fantastic job in Abuja.
Of course.
But El-Rufai also got the highest curses. People insulted the hell out of the man, right? Because of course, change is not convenient, right? And he's trying to stick to master plan and all of that. Let's leave that aside. What you're doing is picking isolated situations. For example, you're making reference to Abuja. We live in Lagos.
Okay.
Right? That's one. Now, there's a sense in which what happens at the federal level affects everybody. Yeah. Because my governor, for example, is not in charge of fiscal policy. Right? He's not in charge of the exchange rate. He doesn't make policies that affect everybody in the country. If you talk to the woman that is selling fish in the market, she probably might not know who her governor is. But what she cares about is the fact that the money she's earning is not able to help her or at least meet her needs. So, I asked you initially, how would you rate? You said on the scale of, you introduced the scale of 1 to 10, but you did not use it. Okay. And you said that 2 years is short. Please help us understand how long is enough to rate him. Is it after 4 years when he's done? Or after 8 years like Buhari?
Okay, now let me answer your question. Let me use my own state now as a case study. Edo State, for example. During the past 8 years, Obaseki became governor of Edo State, 2016. That was his first term, 2016 to 2020. During that time, they were saying godfatherism. So he got sympathy votes because people said, okay, no, we don't want anybody.
I don't know Lagos.
They voted for him. So from 2020 to 2024, he was demolishing houses. He was going after opposition. No meaningful development in the state. Even, I believe we are from the eastern part of Nigeria. If you travel by road, let's say from Lagos,
I'm very familiar
you see that the road is bad. So one thing we need to understand, let me even say I'm not a like a die member of APC, but what I believe in good governance.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all want that.
Now I'll give you my reasons and I'll tell you why I believe in good governance. The assumption of the current governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpewolo, there has been drastic. Hold on.
Look. I understand that you love the man.
No. It's not a matter of love.
Hold on, because here's the thing. This is typical of every politician, right? Because if you ask them one question and they don't have a good answer for you, they would invent another question and answer it.
So no. I want to answer. You said
wait. Tinubu, on the scale of 1 to 10, how impressed are you with this administration?
I'll rate it 7%, and I'll give you my reasons.
7 over 10. No, I'll come back to your reason.
Wait, I think you should give us metrics. You've talked about Tinubu. What policies has he?
That is people friendly.
Okay, now so now that is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Now this so-called ex-governor of Edo State was in PDP.
No.
I want to
No. We are not going to do Edo State. We are not going to do Edo State because most of us are not familiar in Edo State, and many people, many of our viewers will not be familiar with Edo State. I particularly, I am, but it has no bearing on the larger scale of things. Yeah, because for example, if you talk about Lagos, a lot of people will be impressed. It's almost difficult to actually measure, analyze, and criticize Lagos governance. Because Lagos has a lot of money, and there's a lot of things going on in Lagos. Do you understand? There's a lot of things going on in Lagos. So it is how it affects the everyday Nigerian. And there's a reason why if anything happens in my personal life, you blame the people, the Oga at the top. I personally, well, not personally, but a lot of people blame Akpabio.
Okay, now so let me just.
So I want David to.
Okay.
You're not an APC fan.
No, I'm not.
You don't support any party.
I don't support any party.
But I believe you look like somebody who supported Peter Obi.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So do you think that Peter Obi would have done differently?
One of the reasons why I don't support any party is because one of the reasons why I didn't support APC and Tinubu in particular was because I knew he was a power grabber, or I suspected he was a power grabber.
But he already has power anyway.
Yes, because you're talking about how much APC has, done over time. Tinubu as a president, I'm not sure he had a vision for Nigeria. Even his manifestos and things like that, we've not seen anything. We don't have to wait for 2 years to see what a good leader would
but I mean, all the presidential candidates said they will remove subsidy. And he was courageous enough to do it.
How he went about it was actually wrong.
But should we not give him credit for courage?
Peter Obi said he was also going to remove subsidy.
Yeah, well. Yeah,
okay, so you understand that after coming Buhari, I felt like Tinubu was going to probably be a bad choice.
So you see, that name Buhari gives me this trauma about this.
So I just wanted a choice where it feels like, oh, if this person isn't going to do whatever it is he says he's going to do, we can always remove this person from power.
Okay, but here's the thing. Give me briefly, right, why you think Obi would have been the right choice. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this angle is because people are already talking about 2027, right? And which is another problem. We don't even have time for governance. Right now, the conversation is about 2027, who is going to run and who is not going to run. Right? I want to know, you probably are going to support Obi again if he comes out.
Yes.
So I want to know in a very crystal manner, what are the qualities that Obi has that the president doesn't have that makes you think he's better? And of course, I'll come to you you can throw any question if you think that he's going a certain way. So I would like to know.
So the first thing for me, I think, is vision. Every good leader should have vision.
Everybody will tell you they have vision.
Now, in terms of when every aspirant was given their manifesto, we did not really see anything from Tinubu. The signs were there. Okay, and another thing that is also very important in terms of politics is qualification. You cannot you can't tell me you don't understand economics, you don't understand philosophy, you don't understand
but the presidents and economics.
Do you understand in what sense?
They say he went to Chicago State.
So these are the things that most of these things, do we see it?
I mean,
because the truth is, one qualification or some of the qualifications for a politician, you have to be able to understand statistics.
No, our constitution says that if you have secondary school certificates, you're good to go.
Yes.
So on that score, he was qualified, right? So I'm talking about personally, in your own assessment, what makes Obi better, apart from the fact that he went to Harvard, Kellogg's and all of that, as a human being, capacity-wise?
Now, I talked about vision, and in his past tenure as governor, if there was something that Peter Obi prioritized was education.
But Tinubu built Lagos.
Sorry, can I come in?
It's not me.
Okay.
I'm sure you heard it. They said he built Lagos.
So, I don't really want to tackle you because I feel this is like a national TV. But
no, you should see here. See, these conversations need to be had. You know why?
Now,
because I don't know if you're feeling the pinch. You're scoring this government 7 over 10.
Okay, now let me.
How much are they paying you?
Wait, now let me answer.
So that we'll know if you can walk out of this place or not.
Forget about.
You will share the money with us.
Now, you said,
how much are they paying you?
Obi built schools in Anambra.
He prioritized education.
No. Now,
and that's a fact.
I'll give you my reason. So, and right now we can Google this. That's live from the pit of hell.
You don't mean it.
Wait, now, no. I'll give you my reasons, and we can Google this.
Okay.
Now, number one, Obi have said it so many times. I quote what he said. Obi said he built what is it called? Like a brewery. Like an alcoholic company in Anambra.
He invested.
Invested. Listen, so many times I've taken my time. I've done proper research. Reno Omokri, an activist, has told Obi, if you know, wait, chill.
Hold on. No, you will land. I just needed to put a caveat there. If you introduce Reno Omokri into a conversation,
wait,
you have messed it up.
No, have not,
because this same man
spoke highly.
Was hailing this same
Obi. We are talking about schools now.
So we are talking. No. I'm not impressed by political jobbers. So stay on the education.
Okay, now
you said it's a lie. Let's know why it's a lie.
This same Obi, during his time as the governor of Anambra State,
Yeah.
do you remember that doctors, they went on strike in Anambra for close to 7 or 11 months?
Do you know why?
No, I'm asking you.
I remember.
Okay,
we talked about prioritizing education, and you said he did not.
And you said the education
aspect.
Live from the pit
He did not build any school. He did not build. He did not build any school.
Hold on.
He did not build any school. He did not.
And the evidence are there.
The only
let me give you
tenure as governor.
No, Dixon,
of
Anambra State. Hold on. Relax.
Anambra had the highest performing.
Relax. Before Obi, do you know how Anambra ranked in education in Nigeria?
I know they were not. Anambra then they were not doing well in
They were in
terms
the
of JAM and WAEC
20s.
and all those things.
And then during Obi's time, after he did what he did, Anambra was ranking number one. And these are facts you cannot dispute. So I don't know where the lie is coming from.
And again, wait, you said aside that one, the way you are hailing him, calling him one small messiah, this same Obi, during his time, if you go to Anambra, what is it called? Kidnapping, cultism.
No. Here's the thing. No. Before Obi, the Upper Iweka, no. It was actually during Obi's time that he cleaned up Upper Iweka, right? Which was the hub of thuggery, crime, and I know that again for a fact. Because most of my friends, if not all, are from Anambra, from the southeast. I visited that place a lot. In fact, one of my friends, whose mother was a principal during Obi's time, I can attest to the fact that those computers that he talked about getting from HP, I saw it with my own eyes. Again, I'm not making a case for him, but these are facts. I saw it with my own eyes, right? It's something I prioritize when I'm dealing with human beings. You see empathy, right? You see empathy, especially when it comes to leadership. People want to know that you care.
Yeah.
Do you understand? People really want to know that you care. Now, I think I get where it's coming from, that somebody, if he says he will do something, you are sure that he will do it, or at least he will try. Now, how do you put that side by side with a president who says he cares, or a presidency or an administration that say they care? And what they are doing, they are buying new jets, they are renovating presidential quarters, and meanwhile, people are hungry. Meanwhile, you said everybody should tighten their belts. Do you understand? And then we're not seeing you tightening these belts.
Increasing electricity tariff, buying solar panel.
Obi is not a messiah. You know, they are all human beings. Everybody is a human being. But you do know that if you're checking character, you know, like he talked about qualifications and all of that, which of course, if you're dealing with the legality of it, as long as you have secondary school certificate, you're good to go, right? So I really want to know, what are the people-friendly policies that this administration has put in place? You know why? They might have done something good.
Now you're not
but
aware of.
on this podcast, I try to interrogate conviction. If you're supporting APC and you're not able to tell me why you're supporting APC in a way that it makes sense, I think that I should question your logic. I should question your reasoning, because all of us here are graduates. You went to school, right? As a graduate. So I'm right to assume that after going to school, we have a way of reasoning out things. So convince me, why do you score this administration 7 over 10? And I'm not saying they didn't do well. I want you to convince me.
Part of why I said I will score Tinubu 7 over 10 so far is administration. Let's keep, because you started with exchange rates. Why is naira to dollar a certain figure? Let's keep that one
aside.
And me and you know that so far so good. The monthly allocation to each state has increased.
It's
you
not
understand?
reaching me.
So you know there's a slogan that goes like this, from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So everything is coming from top to bottom.
That's why we're rating the top.
You understand? So that was why I used my own state as an example, because I can tell you for the past.
Oh, you don't live in it though. You live in Lagos.
Yeah, I'm heading somewhere. You understand? I also come back to Lagos.
No, don't head there first.
Okay, now Lagos, for
Be in
example,
Lagos,
Lagos. Okay, Tinubu, like a year ago or thereabout, he increased the minimum, like the minimum wage from.
But you know that was an insult. But go on.
Yeah, so let's forget about when it was implemented and all. And our backlogs and foreign debt and all those things, most of them gradually now they are now paying all those things. You understand that we're owing before. And when Tinubu came on board, we have about 4 refineries in Nigeria. We're not functioning. And,
are they functioning?
I'm heading somewhere.
But are they functioning?
We have about 4 refineries.
You don't need to explain. Are they functioning?
Yeah, some of them they've started.
They are not functioning. They are not functioning. Do you know for a fact that they are functioning?
Of course.
They are not.
They've started. They've started, and the barrel they produce in a day, all these things they've gone higher. So
what
change? Chill.
How did Tinubu
chill?
You know why it's hard to market a bad product.
No, it's not about. It's
because
you know the problem about obedience. You guys are easy to attack. So
No. I'm not speaking
as
an obedient, and I'm not attacking you. I'm giving you a chance to sell yourself
as an opposition.
As a concerned Nigerian.
You understand? No, the concern, at least you belong somewhere.
I belong to Nigeria. I belong to nobody.
As an opposition.
No, actually, that's a bad thing to say because
irrespective of your affiliation or party, you understand? Change is a process. You understand? But all what I know for the fact, I'm not saying Tinubu is a messiah. But what I will tell you, gradually, things are changing.
How long do we have to wait? Because you mention of the fact that he's only spent 2 years and we've not seen any change.
And that was why
now, let me just ask, what is Tinubu's political ideology?
Actually nobody has.
What is he trying to prioritize that can probably say we are holding on to this? Because I remember he said during one time that if electricity is not stable in Nigeria, that we shouldn't elect him for second time. Well, has electricity really improved?
Well, so now let me answer this your question. Let me answer this your question. You said Tinubu said if our power doesn't improve in the next 4 years, that you should vote him out. This thing is very simple now. Election is coming. 2027. I will advise you go to and vote him out. You understand? Why not? Nigerians voted for Tinubu.
I know you're being mischievous. You can't really say. No, hold on. You can't really say Nigerians voted for him.
Let me tell you.
He won the election.
Let me even tell you.
You can't really say that.
2023. Let me even tell you. I was articulated. I supported Atiku.
So in 2023.
Yes, I supported.
But you said you voted APC.
No. Maybe you didn't hear me. 2023. Do you know when I fell in love with Tinubu? Was when, because let's say I was living in denial all this while. Was when this Edo State tussle and issues started coming up. No, I'm heading somewhere. Wait. No, it's not a matter of the
So because it favored you as a person.
No, it is not about.
He supported the person.
Do you know one thing you guys need to understand? When they say from top to bottom, you really need to understand what they mean by that.
Okay.
Now, if I want to digress now, you'll be saying I digress, but sometimes it's good for me to digress so that we can really understand the fact. No, let me just say this point.
Yeah.
Delta State of recent, almost everybody, they decamped to APC when they were asking them. You people don't understand this. Why are they doing all this? It's to favor them.
What he said. Let me tell you. Let me quote exactly what the man. No, you can't speak for him when he said something else.
Okay,
no, hold on. Let me tell you what. Okay. No, even the chairman, the senator. I don't know where he's representing
of Delta State.
Yeah, one of those senators said, when the taste of the alcohol changes, you change the drinking pattern.
But do you
it means that when the sound of music changes, you change the dancing pattern.
But do you know
they move there
about interest.
Yes, but
of course. So it is not a personal.
No, hold on.
It's all about interest. Okay.
We're not having the conversation with you as a politician. Politics is about interest. Two politicians, right? And politics is a way to get into governance. Okay. What we're estraying is for the governance. Yes, how it affects my mother and your mother.
And that's what I'm saying. Part of why Edo, for example, my state is a PDP state right from inception. Why everybody they change their narrative that no, I must support this particular leader.
It's just changing clothes.
It's not all about that. Let me just round up.
Okay, round up.
Let me round up. That is why I said it's all about personal interest, in the sense that they knew that, okay, if they vote for this man, things are going to come from the national level to change the entire state. So this thing is very
when
simple.
Tinubu was governor in Lagos, right?
Yes.
PDP was at the center.
Okay.
Tinubu did all the things he did without aligning with the center. In fact, he was the last man standing.
Yeah.
The only man that went against the president and did what he wanted to do and succeeded according to you.
Wait, now
so
let me answer you. Tinubu did something as a one-man movement, but can you compare the internal generated revenue of Lagos State?
Come on, Delta has money. What are you saying?
I'm using my state as a case.
No, let's use Delta that you use. Delta has money.
We have 36 states in Nigeria. You understand? Lagos State, I can tell you that Lagos State is richer than 30 states combined.
Hold on.
So you cannot compare. And at the end of the day, Lagos, what is it called? Lagos State, the money was still reformed. You understand? So you cannot compare. You cannot compare Lagos State.
Thank you, Dixon.
You cannot compare Lagos State with.
Thank you, Dixon. So here's the fact. Yeah, the point is that you spoke as a politician.
No, it's not as a politician.
Hold on. That's what politicians do. And you said it's about the interest, and you have spoken about personal interest. But let's be fair. Whatever is going on in Nigeria, the economic situation is biting on everybody.
Of course.
Exactly. So if you can rate this government 7 over 10,
yeah.
And you're not able to convince me why you rated them 7 over, I suspect you. Really, I suspect that you're getting something and you're not telling us.
It's not a matter of getting.
No. After this recording, you're going to tell us how much you're getting and how we can get what you're getting. Thank you for coming, guys. Thank you, David.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dixon. We're going to do this again, right? Yeah. It's very difficult to sell a bad product. Guys, stay safe, drink a lot of water. Hope it has out.